Before I get to my prepared remarks, I want to tell you something about the chocolate extravaganza. This is not a joke, this is a true thing, and this is an important piece of advice for all of you. If you get between a snork and the chocolate that they've decided is rightfully theirs because they served in a war, they will kill you. They will complain you to death. So just be careful, everybody. Maybe use the buddy system when you're out there at the chocolate extravaganza. Because quite honestly, I think we need more of us and less of them. Now, I'm going to tell you some stories tonight. Thanks. And I'm kind of like a band that's been on tour too long because I haven't had a lot of time to write new stuff, but I do have some new stuff to read you tonight that I hope you like. And I'm scared to death because it's new stuff, and it's exciting to do. It's also terrifying for me to do. So I have this one sort of longish piece that I want to do, but I wasn't sure if I should I know, I hate me too. I'm sorry. I'll be done quickly. I said I'm sorry. Oh, right, the clock, sorry. So, what I thought would be great is that I have these two pieces, right? And I brought my dice with me, you know, like you do. It is, in fact, a chainmail dice bag. And I was going to roll D20 to find out if I tell you a story about gaming as it relates to my life and as it relates to the person I am today and the father that I am and how much it means to me, or if I would recount for you in my own unique fashion one of the worst episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation of all time. See, now I could have just left it up to you, but I knew which one you would pick. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roll D20, and if I roll 1 to 10, we will hear a story about Star Trek, and if we roll 11 to 20, then you will hear a story about gaming. Now, if I managed to crit, I will tell one here, and then I will tell the second one later in the back of the boat after the chocolate buffet is over. So I'm just going to roll this, and we're going to find out what happens. 12. I rolled a 12. This will be a story about gaming. It'll be a story about gaming. Which is ironic because I roll very poorly when I game. All right, so I am going to begin tonight, however, with a story about my wife and a story about our marriage and a story about our partnership. When I was a little boy, I asked my father, like you do, "Dad, who's your best friend?" And my dad said, "Your mom." And I was like, "No, really. I know you have to say that because she makes dinner and stuff. And she probably makes you go to bed early if she gets mad at you. But really, who's your best friend?" And my dad said, "Honestly, it's your mom. Your mom is my best friend." And I didn't understand that. I couldn't wrap my head around the idea that she could be my mom and his wife and also his best friend. And I persisted in that belief that my dad was lying to me. It had to be someone in the neighborhood, but it wasn't. It was my mom, and it wasn't until I was married, and actually our kids grew up and moved out of the house, that I realized that my wife and I have an absolutely magnificent and a rare partnership. We're friends and we're co-conspirators and we complement one another, and she's funnier than me, and we are patient with one another with our various things that we're sort of nerdy about. So this is a story about that, and it's called Triple Word Score. My wife is one of those Scrabble players who regularly scores between 350 and 400 points in a two-player game. I am one of the Scrabble players who is lucky to break 150 without opening the dictionary to find out if the collection of mysterious glyphs laid out in front of him can somehow be assembled into a legal word slightly more complicated than one that would be found in a Dick and Jane book. I do not provide for her even a nominal challenge, and where the average player would experience something akin to fun while playing a game, I experience frustration and misery. Yet she insists that we play together. She says, "Making words is fun." Which I guess is true if you can actually fucking do that in Scrabble. She is oblivious to my failure to get even one bingo in the decade we have been playing. But because she tolerates me describing everything in the world in role-playing terms, for example, some asshole cast freezing cloud outside. I thought I'd have picked up some resist cold with all my trips to Seattle and the Pacific Northwest, but I just took 1d8 going 15 feet to the garage and back, and I keep failing my saves even though I'm back in the house. The very least I can do is provide some companionship while she makes the Scrabble board and me her bitch. So for several months, I had been able to avoid the humiliation of putting my scrabular impotence on full display. But when she asked me to play last night after dinner, this was actually written around Christmas time a number of years ago, when I wrote for the LA Weekly. All right, check me out, that's right. Me and Matt Groening kind of published in the same thing, you know, whatever, no big. When she asked me to play last night after dinner, her breathtaking beauty illuminated only by the twinkle lights on our Christmas tree and the flickering glow of our fireplace, I failed to save versus charm, and I went directly to the game closet. I looked past games that would be fun for me to play. Battlelore, Carcassonne, the awful green things from outer space, Uno, Sorry, some dice, pack of bridge cards missing the king of clubs. Enslaved by her vicious spell, I pulled Scrabble off the shelf and took it to the living room. Our dogs curled up on the floor next to us as we began to play in front of the fireplace. I drew an X. She drew an E, of course, because she needs help from the bag. It was an unnecessary harbinger of things to come. She went first and instantly took a 20-point lead. I scored 7, a personal best. 4 or 5 turns later, she played sexy for a triple word score, and I never caught up. It was a blowout. I was Custer at Little Bighorn, Varro at Cane, the Broncos in Super Bowl 24. With about 20 tiles remaining in the bag, I saw a chance to draw within 40 points of her. I had QIEEB after I'd played an ineffectual 2 letters for a humiliating 3 points. If I drew a T, an N, or an R, I could place the Q on a triple word score, build off the U in fugue. I could make quiet, queer, or queen. I drew the T. I held my breath. For Murphy's Law of playing Scrabble with my wife is that with 85 potential places to play on the board, she will play in the one place that fucks me. And put down 2 tiles, building off the F in fugue. Are you fucking serious? I said. It's a bundle of sticks, she said. I know what it is. But you couldn't have made wag, or tag, or nag, or hag. I pointed to 4 of the 85 potential places she could have played on the board. I'm sorry, she said. Do you want me to play in a different place? Because it'll be the same score. Completely missing the point. This is always how it is when we play a game together. She's not competitive. She's blissfully unaware of my anguish as I attempt to even match her score. She doesn't know, well, she knows now because she's heard me tell this story before, that I consider it a personal moral victory, like a partial victory, if she does not double my score. Like when I used to play Guitar Hero with my kids. Oh, you got 11 million. Well, I got 100,000, so that's a lot of zeros, and I'm doing great. No, I said. No, don't move your letters. I'll find another place to play. That will be 2 points. She recorded my score. I noted that she wasn't doubling my score by 10 points, and I resolved to close the gap. I failed. With only a U and an I to play, I ended up down by over 100 points. And I just wanted the game to be over. It's like the second turn of Descent. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm never gonna catch up and we have 4 hours left to go on this game? Awesome! Okay, so I'm gonna play the U here and make the word Vux. I said, "What's Vux?" she asked. Oh, you don't know? Vux is what it's called when you suck so hard at Scrabble that you just make up a word so the fucking game will be over. It's like, my wife kicked my ass so hard I just went for the Vux. She looked at me and slowly shook her head. I took the tile off the board and I replaced it with the I. Vix, she said. Yeah, Vix is what it's called when you try to Vux and your wife cockblocks you. Use it in a sentence, so I was going for the Vux and then she Vixes me. She looked at me again and she laughed. I joined her. I concede. You are the ultimate master of Scrabble. She leaned over the board and she kissed me. Thanks for playing with me, she said. I love you. Our gaming philosophy is simple. It is not about winning or losing. It is about enjoying the time we spend playing the game, even if it's fucking Scrabble. This is why Anne puts up with my Vuxing, and I come back for more, even when she Vixes me.